Hello folks, thanks for joining me. It's the middle of October and it's starting to get a bit nippy, and I've got a rather heavy rucksack on my back full of cold weather camping gear for a Tarp and Bivvy overnighter in some local woods. Now you'll see I've just been through some woods, but pretty as they are, they're not great for camping. They're right next to the university, so they're crawling with students. The woods I'm going to now are a bit of a walk away along this boring road, but they're a lot more suitable. I went there the other day actually, about 3 weeks back, and just for a wander, but I had two bits of luck. Firstly, I found a brand new spot for camping, which I'm heading to now, and also I found a lot of interesting fungi, including some porcini, or penny buns as they're known, and I managed to forage enough for a nice meal that Mrs. Cottonbud made with them, of a rigatoni with sausage and porcini. It was really nice, so I was quite pleased with that. They're like the king of the edible mushrooms really, and I didn't expect to find any locally. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with this boring road walk, and I'll come back to you when I'm in those second batch of woods. Well, this is the spot that I stumbled across the other day. As you can see, it's been used before. There's some stumps there which can be used as a table and a chair, which has saved me having to bring them, which is quite handy. What time are we on? 3:10. I think I'm going to do my wood prep first before the end of the working day. It's a weekday and there'll be a lot more dog walkers around after 5 o'clock, so I think I'm going to do all that while it's a bit quieter, because it can be a bit noisy and draw attention when you're sawing and chopping. I'll then put the shelter up in the last hour, just in case anybody walks past here. I very much doubt it. I'm kind of on a little hill. It's fairly tricky to get through a load of bracken. Right, it's a lovely spot though. Really pleased with it. Let's just hope I get a good night here. Well, hopefully that's enough wood to see me through the evening. I'm only using the little bush box, so that should be enough for cooking and for a couple of hours of heat before I go to bed. Right, what time is it now? 4:30. Still a bit early to put the shelter up. I think I'll make myself a coffee. Well, I'm all set up. I've gone for the plough point tarp configuration, nice and easy. Gives me lots of shelter on three sides, although there's not a breath of wind at the moment, to be honest. It's going to get quite cold tonight though, into single figures. Oh, there's a owl of some kind, I think. That time of night, I suppose. Right, I'm going to wait until it's pitch black and I know that everybody's out of the woods, apart from the weird mountain bikers that sometimes go around at night here, but they won't come up here. And then I'll get the fire on and get my dinner started. No, night. Well, that was a very decent night's sleep, I must say. I was a bit hot though, to be honest. I think the temperature they gave out was a bit colder than it actually was. But better to be too warm than too cold. Here's the tarp configuration from the back. You get so much room with a plough point like this, especially if you sort of pull out the sides, which you can on this DD Tarp Pro. Let's take a look around the other side. Just got the last of the wood burning away there on the fire. Let's go around here. It's kit that I've used a fair few times before. There's nothing new here really. The only thing I want to mention is about the sleep system. Again, standard stuff. I've got my thermarest underneath, pillow, down bag there. And then this is the trusty British Army Bivvy bag. Now, I have to say, and this might upset some people, that I'm really going off this bag. It's got a reputation for being cavernously big, but I have to disagree. I think it is really big. On this top sort of third section here, really huge, so it's easy to get in and out of. But as it tapers down, it suddenly cinches around the waist area, and it's no bigger than any other bivvy bag really. And that means I can't get my mat inside it. I tried it again last night and I could feel the loft of the bag pressing down around my hip area as I was sleeping on my side, which isn't good. I could feel it getting cold almost instantly. It felt quite tight and uncomfortable as well. I would have liked to have had the mat inside the bag because it's an extra layer of protection. This thermarest really expensive, and it would have been just that extra bit of protection if there was any sharp twigs or anything underneath. But I had to take it out and put it underneath. Now that means really I could have just brought my snug pack bivvy, which not only is a third of the weight and size, but also I think cinches around the head area a lot better. I've tried all sorts of things here with trying to get this cinch cord to pull up snugly into a small little kind of breathing hole. I've changed the type of cord at least 3 times. I've waxed it to make it more slippy, and it's just a nightmare. It just doesn't work. It's kind of snaggy and uneven. So it's had a good innings, and I don't think I'll get rid of it. It's good to have as a backup bivvy, but I don't think I'm going to use it as often as I have done. Okay. Oh, there's a nice mushroom down there. I think that might be a false chanterelle. I got a bit excited. I thought it might be a real chanterelle. I could have had it with my bacon sarnie, but no, it's a false one. Similar looking, but not very nice. Okay, just going to let that fire burn out. I'll dispose of it safely, and then I'll start the pack up. Well, this is the point where I'd normally be saying leave no trace, but I'm going to compromise that a little bit this time. There's certainly no evidence that I've camped here last night, the place where I had the fire, because it was so protected with a soldering mat and a little grate thing. I didn't even need to really do anything, it just didn't touch the ground at all. So I am going to leave these stumps around. They were here when I got here. They were obviously put here by somebody. And normally I don't like it when people leave evidence of camps as such. I hate seeing half-arsed bushcraft shelters still left up. It drives me nuts. That's not leave no trace. So I'm being a bit of a hypocrite here, but I do think if a family came along, walked up here and found this little area. It would be quite a nice little bit for them to sit and chill, have a picnic or something. Plus, selfishly, I suppose they would be there ready for me next time I come. Okay, I'm going to get off and start the long walk home. Can you tell me something? How come a pack always feels heavier on your way back from a camp, even though it's measurably lighter? This is easily 3 kilos lighter than it was yesterday. 2 kilos of water, probably a kilo of food. So why does it feel 2 kilos heavier? I don't know. Okay, on my way home now. Just want to say thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again on the next camp. Bye bye.